Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NF Marsch. We're in one of those in-between times where there's just not a whole lot of things we can do today. We're currently waiting for our grass to reach its full potential. We have that field, and they will both be fully grown and ready to cut tomorrow. Our hops field is progressing. I have no idea how long it's going to take these to get to harvest height, but we'll just wait. Contracts, we are down to baling contracts and harvesting contracts, but all the harvesting contracts are things like potatoes and sugar beets and white cabbage and carrots and lavender. We really can't make any money off of those so much. And we can make money. We just can't make any straw off of those, which I really don't want to do contracts right now that don't bring us any straw. At some point, we'll have the time and be able to expend the effort to do some different kinds of things. But right now, I'm concerned with growth, and we need to get to a point where we're not really too worried about money. So the first thing I want to do this morning is buy some sheep. And I'm just going to buy a mix. I'm going to do 60 of each type and see where we are as far as money goes. So we want to buy 60 of each. Go down to the next one, buy 60 of those. All right, so we have 240 sheep. And we have $112,000 left. I think that's where we're going to stop right now. Tomorrow we may be able to buy more, but for right now, that's a pretty good number to stop with. I'm going to get some food in there for them. We'll use a little tractor. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple 100,000 liters of grass in there. I think it'll hold a couple of hundred. It may just hold 100. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. So we'll start with 100 or a couple of hundred. We'll start with 200 and see if it holds all that. I went the wrong way. There we go. The more I think about it, the more I remember that it only holds 100,000 liters. So we're gonna go with that. If I'm wrong, then we can always get some more grass. And the thing about this particular sheep barn is you've got to get way up underneath it. So you really do need a trailer that either tips from the side or has some sort of vibration to unload it. Okay, yeah, it holds 100,000 liters. So our sheep barn is full of food. That's good. Our sheep will start producing wool, and they will also start breeding soon. So we're not going to have to buy 1,500 sheep. We'll probably end up buying half that and just letting them breed. The problem with that is that you get a bunch of sheep in there that aren't actually producing any wool. So We'll see how it goes. If we have enough money, we may just go ahead and fill it up with adult sheep and start making a lot of wool right off the bat. So in addition to sheep, I also want to put in the automatic selling of animal products. This is a very, very handy mod. It will, wrong menu. It will store your wool, or it will distribute wool, which is a very good thing indeed. You don't have to spend a lot of time carrying wool from your sheep pen to your spinnery. So we're going to put this right in here. You want it to be over where the pallets are going to spawn, so that the pallets spawn inside this square, and it will automatically store them. Very, very good mod. So let's go in and make sure we're set up to... Yep, it is currently active, and it's going to store wool. So as soon as our sheep start producing, it will start storing it. And then when we get enough money ahead, we're going to go ahead and install our spinnery. We want to get started making clothes as quickly as we possibly can. At the same time, it doesn't hurt to go ahead and store up some wool so that when you do install the spinnery, it has something to work on, and you don't just send over 50 liters of wool with which it will finish almost immediately. Okay, so we have that. I would also like to put in, and I think I'll put it over here because it's not going to get a lot of traffic to it. It's going to do a lot of auto selling and just storing. But I am going to install a mod that will turn digestate into solid fertilizer. And I've said this before, but selling solid fertilizer is a very powerful tool. And you don't want to do this on Fruling, or you'll just own the whole map in 2 days, and the game is over pretty much. So this one makes fertilizer from digestate. 55 grand, and we're going to put it right here. So there actually was some room here to put another production. Kind of make it nice and even here. Okay. Now we're going to go in and we're going to set the BGA to distribute digestate. And we're going to turn on solid fertilizer. So that's it. Now this production kind of moderates the production of solid fertilizer. There is another production that will do 1-to-1, but that's pretty extreme. So we're going to do 1,000 liters of digestate. We'll make 250 liters of solid fertilizer. And I think that's a pretty good ratio. We'll see. It may not make us enough money, in which case we will swap out our fermentation silo and this production for one that will make both. It'll make silage. It will make solid fertilizer. It will even make total mixed ration for cows, which at some point we may want some cows to put slurry and manure in the BGA. So, we'll see what happens in the future, and if we have to adjust, we'll adjust. So right now is when we're in our kind of holding pattern, where we're just waiting for things to be ready to harvest, mow, sell. We don't have a whole lot to do. So as much as I hate to do this, I'm going to go ahead and rest and take us to November. That way I think our grass will be ready to cut, and we may have some more money to buy some more sheep. So We'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, we've been passing this up for the last 2 episodes. It's a collectible, and so we should probably pick that up. Du hast eine Palette gefunden. We found a pallet. And we got $1,500 for it. I apologize for my terrible German. To any of my German friends out there, my sincere apologies. All right, we're going to sleep. All right, our grass is now ready to cut. Wow, our hops have gotten big. Look at that. They're still growing, but they're not too much shorter than the other ones were when we harvested. So let's take a look at the map and see if they're close. That would be nice because we're about ready to sell. It's about to be that time. Yeah, they're going to be ready in December. And I think that's pretty much the time that they reach their best price. So we're going to make some money off of hops. Where are you, hops? There we are. January. January is when we need to sell, and we'll be able to harvest these tomorrow. So the price is already getting up there. We'll look at the price tomorrow. You know, these prices are really just a guideline. If you see a price that's close to that maximum price that's over there on the right, if you see a price that looks close to that the month before it's supposed to hit the highest price, I would go ahead and sell because I have seen the price go down from there. So if it's close to what the historical record says was the highest price, sell. Because you may miss the opportunity and lose money. All right, so it's time to mow. Let's get in the mower. And get this grass in the silo. Oh, and look at that. We made almost $100,000 overnight. So perhaps by the end of the day, we will have enough money to buy some more sheep. The more sheep we have, actually, we have enough money to buy our tailor shop. Spinnery, combinationary thing. right, that's one grass field down. I'm going to get the other one done off camera, and I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to pick up the grass. Well, we got the grass all mowed. This swather does such a good job, and it does it really, really quickly. What an efficient tool. Very pleased with it. I'm doing a survival challenge right now where there's a lot of grass to cut, but I don't have the money to buy one of these right now. And it's different. It's different using other things to mow. When you get used to the swather, it just, nothing else comes close. All right, I am going to pick up this grass using our very unrealistic mod. So if this is going to bother you, I would suggest that you shield your eyes. I will put a disclaimer in the description to make sure that nobody has to watch this if they don't want to. But this is another one of those tools that it just makes this job so much faster. And take a little off the top here, so it's a little easier to turn around. And with this mower, I can just get 3 swaths at a time. With the harvester, the header's a little bigger, and so you can only get 2 swaths at a time. But that still cuts the time you spend picking up grass or straw in half. Again, at the sacrifice of being realistic. And I know for some people that's really important. And I respect that. Honestly, I truly respect anyone who plays this game with everything at the most difficult settings. You know, the guys who play with manual connect and, you know, small tools and really match the size of the tool with the tractor and try to be as realistic as possible with everything. I watch those guys because I think it's amazing what they do. I just can't do it. If you look at the back of the loading wagon, that's a random carrot in the ground. I don't know how that got there, but somebody planted a carrot in my field. Speaking of carrots, there is a carrot field very close to us that we could harvest. But the problem is with the specialized equipment for these new crops, the contracts don't offer you an opportunity to borrow equipment. The only way you can take and accomplish those contracts is if you lease the equipment yourself. And the equipment to harvest those things is very, very expensive. It's basically the same price as a potato harvester or a cotton harvester. You know, you're looking at leasing a tool that costs $500,000. So, as much as I would like to harvest some of those specialty crops, I don't know that we're going to be able to do that until leasing something that large kind of becomes trivial for us. And at that point, then I will definitely want to do some of that work. Because I would like to see what a trailer full of carrots looks like. I'm just curious that way. So last time we did this, we got a little over 300,000 liters of grass off of both of these fields. I think we're going to blow that out of the water this time. Well, we planted a field and we made sure that it was completely fertilized. And here's my strip of shame, so everyone point and laugh at the strip of grass that I missed. So for the most part, I think people don't really mind when I use unrealistic tools. But every once in a while, I just get random dislikes on my videos, and I have to think that it has something to do with me not being completely realistic. Although, if you're going to leave me a dislike, then do me the courtesy of telling me why. That way, at least I can learn from it. And if it's, something reasonable, then I'm always willing to change. I'm always willing to improve. But a random thumbs down without a reason is not very good information. All I know is that you didn't like something. And I don't know if that's something I did, which I can improve on, or just my personality, which, sorry, you're kind of stuck with that. But I am always open to constructive criticism. So if you're about to leave that thumbs down, that's great. That is perfectly within your rights to do. But let me know why, so I can learn. And with that, we have picked up both of our grass fields. It's just hard to beat that. It's kind of like a drug. You get addicted to this because you know there's a way to do it so fast. And you just can't help but want to do it that quickly. So we made almost 400,000 liters this time. So we improved quite a bit on our yield. And we made a little money while we were doing it. The BGA is doing very, very well. I always like to go ahead and fertilize. I don't think I have any fertilizer left. Nope, I don't. Actually, I do. I think there's some fertilizer left over there at the store. So I'm going to run over there and grab that. And then we'll come back and we'll get down some fertilizer on our grass fields. If I don't do it now, I won't remember to do it. So take care of the grass field. So that's the 2 grass fields fertilized. I'm going to look at the hops field real quick and see what it says about fertilization. Well, it doesn't say. Let's see what it says on the map when we look at its fertilization state. Yeah, it doesn't really say. So I think it's so close to harvest, we're just going to leave it be for this time. What I would like to do, though, instead of spending money on the spinnery / tailor shop at the moment, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get the Iceria soil sampler, and we're gonna do our soil tests and send those in and get our environmental scores so that when we do sell our hops, we'll get a bonus for them. We should get a bonus. I don't know. I may have to put down a lot of lime to get the pH of the soil where it needs to be. We'll just have to test it and see. But we're going to head to the store. We're going to buy the testing gear, and we're going to get, I think, all of our fields tested. There it is. The Scout. And then there's the Proactive. This will measure how much fertilizer, how much nitrogen is going into the soil, and it will apply fertilizer very precisely to areas. So, yeah, we got enough money. We may go ahead and buy both of them. Why not? So if you've never done this before, this can be kind of a tedious process. So we're going to lower the unit. We're going to unfold the unit. And then we can take soil samples. So you see the green circle down there in our little mini map. Basically what we're trying to do is overlap these circles and get the biggest area possible. And then we'll take our test. And then we'll move on to the next area. These fields are not terribly big, so it's not going to take a long time, but it is pretty repetitive. And sometimes you have to take a small partial sample that will cost you the same amount when you send it in. So, yeah, it is what it is. You will get the money back. And if you use the fertilizer tool here, and if you buy the special sprayer, you can spot spray weeds and save a lot of money on herbicide. You can basically fill up your sprayer with herbicide, and it'll last you for several years. Because the sprayer will only spray a weed that is directly under it. And it will only use the specific nozzle that it needs to use to spray that weed. So it's a nice feature. I know if you're not watching the mini map down there, it looks like I'm drunk. But I'm following the mini map. I'm trying to get that circle to overlap as much as possible. And I might as well drive out here and get part of that field too. If you haven't done precision farming before, I recommend you do it just to kind of check out what it's all about. It really is helpful. It's some extra work at the beginning, and then you have to periodically retest, I believe. But I really do think it's worth it for the added bonus when you sell, and just to kind of have that information about your fields. To know what your soil type is, to know what the pH is, to know how much fertilizer you need. It's just it's a good thing to have. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish testing this other field, and I'll bring you back when I'm done, and we'll decide what we're going to do next. So here are the scores for our fields. One is a 71, the other is a 70. The last one, field number 5, is a 55, but we haven't actually tested that yet. So we'll get some soil samples there after we harvest the hops, which will be next month, I'm sure. They're very close to being ready to harvest. So, and then we can put lime on everything. You can put lime on grass pretty much any time. Hello, dear. That's my Daggerwing impersonation, by the way. Custom production spinnery. That's what we want. Ah, it's 150,000. So we currently don't have quite enough money. What I'm going to do here is speed up time a little bit and see if we can make enough money. We need 150. So let's go ahead and speed up time some. All right. We now have $152,000, so we have enough money to place our production. So let's get that done. Why you say I don't got enough money? There we go. Now we have enough money. Sometimes you get that little glitch where it tells you don't have enough money when you actually do. So you just got to click off of it and then click back on it, and it'll let you buy it. And there we go. This is good. Plenty of room to get in front of it here. It's a little bit loud, but we're going to make wool fabric, and we're going to make clothes. Now, I don't know if I need to do this or not, but I usually do. I'm going to set this to distributing. I think it would be fine. I think it would go ahead and make clothes as long as you have clothes selected and enabled on the other side. But it doesn't hurt to distribute and make sure that the fabric's going to get where it needs to go. So we've made a ton of progress today. It's getting a little bit late in the day, and we're almost out of money. But we have a lot more than we started the day with. So I think that's a good place to end this. If you liked this episode, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up or a subscription. If you didn't like this episode, feel free to give it a thumbs down, but please post a comment as to why you did that. Either way, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next time.